Now, 3 people have been injured in a Russian air attack in the southern Ukrainian region of Mykolaiv. Several fires have broken out. One of the victims was admitted to hospital. Video released by Ukraine's State Emergency Service shows firefighters there battling the flames. There's also been a Russian airstrike on the capital, Kyiv. The mayor, Vitali Klitschko, says explosions were heard throughout the city and doctors were deployed to the Darnytsky district. 3 people have been injured and some were forced to seek shelter in underground metro stations. Well, for the latest, let's speak to our correspondent, Zein Basravi. He joins us now from the Ukrainian capital. Zein, are we seeing an escalation in attacks on Kyiv?
It definitely feels like that. Attacks like this are not as normal in Kyiv as they once were. At least 3 districts of the city on both sides of the river were targeted with missiles. We are at one of those districts, and let me show you the aftermath of this attack. Effectively, what we are looking at is a business park. This is civilian infrastructure in an industrial part of the city. It backs onto an industrial facility where the target seems to have been, where the explosion actually happened. The damage here, broken glass, shrapnel scattered around, destroyed and damaged office spaces. This is from the blast wave of that explosion. We know that there were multiple bombings throughout the course of the early morning hours at around 4 or 5 a.m. Explosions were heard throughout the city, anti-aircraft defensive weapons being fired back, that rat-tat-tat. People heard that across the city. At least 3 different occasions in the early part of the morning were these loud booms of the missile strikes and of anti-aircraft fire trying to stop them from landing. And this is the after effects. Now, what has Russia targeted before in the central part of the country, in the west of the country? They've hit places where troops are being trained. They've hit military facilities where things like tanks are being repaired or weapons are being manufactured. But crucially, they also continue to hit civilian infrastructure like this. It has economic impacts, but it also has an impact of creating a sense of fear. Throughout the course of the attacks that happened across the country overnight and into early this morning, there were no deaths, there were some injuries, but people don't have to die for fear to remain alive. And that is really what we're seeing this morning in Kyiv. When you woke up and stepped out into the city, you could smell the after effects of those explosives, the burned, peppery smell, that acrid smell that sticks in the nostrils. It's everything that people will be talking about through the course of the day, and timing really matters. Zelenskyy has been ratcheting up the rhetoric. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has been being more critical of what Russia is doing, especially after the attack in Kryvyi just days ago that saw the deaths of so many children. There's also EU delegates visiting, trying to show that they will give some kind of military support, perhaps a footprint in Ukraine to help it fighting in this war. And the message from Russia is clear. To Zelenskyy, it is that if you think we don't want to stop the war, well, here it is at your doorstep. And for the Europeans, it is, if you want to get in on this fight, this is what could happen.
Zein Basravi there on the ground for us with the very latest from Kyiv. Thank you, Zein.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.